So, you've decided to implement a flipped classroom. Great. Here are some things you need to know. First things first, what is a flipped classroom? Traditionally, class time is spent with teachers giving a lecture and telling students what they should be learning. Then, once every student has grasped that day's concept, or more likely the bell is rung and it's time to move on, students are assigned homework to complete on their own. The student then does their best completing the assignment and returns to school the next day. Now the teacher checks the homework and finds that either the student has, in fact, grasped the concept or needs some reteaching. In a flipped classroom, that order is, you guessed it, flipped. The teacher assigns material to be learned outside of class via web delivery, either through videos or traditional readings. Then, when the students return to class, the teacher spends the entire class time reinforcing the material or correcting errors or misconceptions. At this point, the teacher can reassign the current material or, upon mastery, move on to new material. However, here comes the sticking point. What if a student doesn't have a device at home to access the material? In our case, we don't have to worry about that. Here comes the good news. Our principal has obtained grant money to pay for an iPad for every student. So, you get an iPad, and you get an iPad. We're all getting iPads. But what happens when a student gets home with the iPad? Unfortunately, maybe nothing. Without the proper planning on the district's part, if the student doesn't have access to Wi-Fi, they may not do anything once they get home. Now we've gone from traditional classroom to flipped classroom to empty classroom. You can't implement a flipped classroom and give out devices without considering how students will access the material using their district-provided iPad. Well, what are our options? Some districts have been fortunate enough to go the extra mile and provide free Wi-Fi for every student home in their district. That would be a great option if costs were no consideration. Other districts have created maps they provide to families showing the businesses and locations in the area that provide free internet access. I believe this is one option that would be a great idea for us to provide to our families. However, both of those options would be great. Neither one is actually necessary, though. One of the easiest and most cost-effective ways to deliver flipped content to students is through download. Students can download content before they leave class and access it at home while offline. Some services even offer subscriptions so that content is automatically downloaded at specified times without any action taken by the user. Our IT department can set this up before a student even receives the iPad. Now, the student can have access to the content even if they don't have access to internet at home. Some teacher pushback is to be expected. Once we've shown the teachers how to implement a flipped classroom approach, they will see how easy and effective it can be. We will create our very own flipped lessons, such as this one, explaining the process to the teachers so that they can begin to learn the process on their own time. Then, we will take a couple of mornings during in-service days to show teachers who may not understand how to record their lessons for student consumption. We will offer one-on-one consultation to those that might still need a little bit of extra help. Not only will we be teaching them how to implement a flipped classroom, we'll be modeling it for them without them even realizing it. Also, during back-to-school nights, we will offer orientation training for parents to attend in addition to the flipped lessons we will have available for them on the iPads. The time is now. Now is the time to begin. The IT department will have to decide what apps will be installed on the iPads and begin installing operating system images that will provide filters on what students can access. The sooner we let them begin that task, the better. The summer will be the perfect time to image the iPad so they can begin deployment at the beginning of the school year. Well, what do we do now? Now we dig in and find programs for teachers to use to record their flipped lessons. Programs such as Screencastify and Camtasia. We get an iPad to the IT department right now so that they can begin developing a bulletproof system image that won't have issues when the school year begins. We make sure that we are using the new technology in a way that benefits students and allows every student that ability to use the technology at home and is ready to come to school as prepared as possible each day.